Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet the great Dan Harker. He heads up the EmpowerHome Team here in North Texas. It's one of the top real estate firms in North Texas, and you're going to hear his story next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
So I'm a big Cumulus fan. I wake up listening to KLIF, and then I turn over to WBAP, and I hear my next guest's name every 15 minutes. Dan Harker is a prominent name in the Cumulus universe because of his philanthropy, which we're going to talk about in a second. Dan Harker from the EmpowerHome Team. Thanks for coming on the show.
It is a pleasure. Thank you very much. It's a joy just to...
Oh.
I met you many years ago, and it's come full circle.
Thank you. Well, God is good.
Yes.
You are a third-generation realtor. So tell us about this journey. When did it start?
So my mom was, my dad had been flying in the Air Force, came out, went to fly for Braniff Airlines, and the very first job he was given was got transferred to Santa Rosa, California. He was transporting troops back and forth to Vietnam commercially. And she had to stay back here in Carrollton and sell their home. And when she went out and did for sale by owner at the time, didn't know what she was doing. I mean, it's back in the mid-'60s, and she sold it within a week, and her dad, who had been a real estate agent back in California, said, "You're a natural, you need to go into it." And so she jumped into real estate, and our family's been doing it since 1968.
Wow, okay, so when did the real estate bug bite you? I mean, were you helping your mom out, with open houses as a little kid? Or?
I was kind of the black sheep of the family, the way I looked at it. I was the youngest. I remember addressing envelopes as part of my mom's marketing effort, getting her name out. And I watched my brother go into the business. My sister got into the business. They both got licensed when they were 18 years old. And I always wanted to be in the radio advertising. I mean, I wanted to be in radio. Sure. That was what I hoped to do. When I realized that I didn't have the skill set to do it, I started going back and thinking I was going to do sales. And then I loved just the lifestyle as far as working for yourself. And what better place? I got to see my mom, my dad do it for all these years. And so I finally joined them when I was 32 years old. And
wow. And there may be a fourth generation.
I have a son who is licensed. His name's Will, and one of these days I'm going to get him in the business full time, hopefully.
That's very cool. What a blessing.
Yeah.
We're going to pull up your website, and as we scroll down the website, let's talk about what makes the EmpowerHome Team different. What separates you from others in your industry?
What I can say, I get asked that question all the time. We were the Harker 5-star team for a number of years. And when I was about 57 years old, I knew that at some point I wanted to go do a lot of different things. And I knew that I was going to need to find the right partner. And I was introduced to Sarah Reynolds and her mom, Debbie Reynolds, not the Debbie Reynolds, but she'd say she is the Debbie Reynolds. And we had a common interest. We align in our faith. We align in just being very positive. And Sarah made our team so much bigger. She's got a brilliant business mind where she has created, if you're in marketing and advertising, we do, I'm just drawing a blank on it, but when we put a message out, it causes people to call. And a lot of people that we end up helping in our business are people that didn't get their home maybe sold the first time. And she has created this system that helps people get to the next destination as quick as possible. And so we get to help buyers and sellers, and we pretty much work across the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We're not just in one little pocket of the city. We help. We have our team is spread out through the Metroplex.
That's beautiful. We're going to pull up some of your recent listings, and you don't have to identify these homes, but maybe talk about the kinds of properties that you like to work with.
You know, one of the things my mom used to say a long time ago, and she goes, we like to help reconnect. People, when they move out of a city, go to another city, or move from one part of the city to another part of the city, it fractures their network.
Yes.
And we're in the business of reconnecting those networks and for those folks. And, you know, some of the homes that you see here, I mean, this is everybody's personal place where they go make most of their memories. And any time that we can, I always tell people, when you come to a house and we're going in to see it, it's either going to sing to you or it's going to bark at you. And you know, some of these houses that we have that we get to walk into, you see everybody's personal touch. It's who they are, and we're trying to help them find their spot, whether it's helping them buy a home or even sell the home, make it as pain-free as possible so they can get on to their next journey, start creating memories in the next new home.
Sure. Well, I know you're a man of faith, so talk a little bit about how your faith guides you and the way you run your company.
You know, in this business, every day you wake up and there's lots of families that are trying to get to the next spot. And, you know, buying a home, selling a home, it's one of the family's biggest, largest investments. And I realized early on that if I treated it like everybody was just another number, I don't think it's what we were designed for. And I remember someone saying to me one time, we're a ministry cleverly disguised as you pick the profession, real estate agent, news anchor.
Right.
Our job is just to be an extension of God's hand, just to demonstrate love. How can we come in and alongside you and help you through this process where you feel safe, you feel comfortable, and you feel loved in the process?
Well, I know you're very philanthropic, and that's how you got on my radar screen. I've actually heard your name for years, but you got on my radar screen because you're doing a big fundraiser right now. Let's put that on the screen and talk about how people can help.
So we've been partners with the Cumulus company that has a number of the radio stations around the Metroplex that serve so far. WBAP is one of just, you know, it stretches. Sure. KPlex, The Ticket, KLIF, just to name a few of them. And one of the things they started back in 1987 was called KLIF's Kids, and where they adopted a school. That was a school where there's a lot of kids that weren't so fortunate, and they didn't have a lot given to them. And so at the time, this radio station went in, which has now grown to the Cumulus, I'll say throughout the country, but specifically in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, where they go out and collect enough toys to supply 2 schools. One's the Martin Luther King Jr. Arts Academy in Dallas, and then the Charles Nash Elementary over in Fort Worth. And it's for kids that are there at school, but either have a home. It's might not be the best ideal situation, and then homeless kids where we can help provide toys. So our goal is to go out and collect as many toys as possible to make Christmas one of the special memories of the year for them.
And there's 2 schools that you're helping right
2
now?
schools.
Okay.
Martin Luther King Jr. Arts Academy, and then Charles Nash Elementary over in Fort Worth.
And, you know, I got to see how wonderful God is. I won't name the former Cowboy great. He's in the Hall of Fame, but Dan got a chance to meet with him, and this amazing individual says, so Dan, tell me about you. And the next thing you know, he may make a large donation. So
well, it's kind of, we all have, we have the common interest that we're interested in giving kids an opportunity.
Yes.
And he does it through a reading program.
Yes.
We're doing it through, ultimately, I would love for there to be an opportunity where we can provide homes. The one thing that I am concerned about right now is that, you know, I have 4 grandkids. One is 3 months old, the oldest one was 4 years old, and I think about you and I have had a chance to buy a home.
Sure.
Will our grandkids be able to afford to buy a home one day? When you look at an average appreciation across the country at 4% appreciation over time, I mean, just if you were wanting to start out and buy a home in the North Texas area, I mean, you're really at the 350 to 400.
Right.
everything less than price, there's a fight to find those, and it just makes it tougher, and it creates this multiple offers and just raises the price up. So I would love to see these kids, everybody who experienced American Dream sometime, and even this Christmas opportunity we have to give a gift or helping a kid read, it's trying to give them an opportunity. It's going back and giving back. Someone gave to us, and it's our turn to give back.
In the final 2 minutes, Dan, I want you to look into the camera on the left and talk to the business owner who really needs to be giving back. And I'm not talking about patting yourself on your back, because you do this for God-centered reasons. But there are a lot of companies that are run by it's all about the almighty dollar, and I think in a way it kind of short circuits the company. If it's all about making money, you're on the wrong path.
Yeah. What I can say to anybody who owns a company out there, we're obviously in the business to support ourselves, to be able to meet the obligations that we have. But when our why is bigger, if we're going to fund a charity that we support, and our focus is on how can we make this charity stronger, that has this ripple effect. When we do that, it has such an impact. Every time you throw a rock into the pond, it creates a ripple. Every business out there, every owner out there has the chance to create a ripple that will impact your network, all your people that you have a chance to touch. I may never be able to touch some of the people that you're serving, and vice versa. But this is where we can come back in as individuals. And from my point of the world where God's called me to be, this is how I have a chance. I'm going to just throw a rock in the pond so I can impact everybody that I have a chance, whether it's through the title companies, through my inspectors. Every time that we go in and do a transaction, we give a portion of our commission away to support a charity. And it's to go in there to help them. It's beyond just this charity here. We help with the Children's Hospital and then the Dream Center here. It's in Dallas, to help go back and give back. You know what God said to us a long time ago, and what I've heard is if He said, Dan, if you'll help me with my business, I'll help you with your business. And I firmly believe that. And so when we focus on others, everything will be fine. Everything's going to be taken care of.
Wow. Dan, thank you so much for sharing your heart and your ministry with us. We're going to end with his website, which is EmpowerHome.com. The great Dan Harker. Thanks for coming on the show.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.